Hello Wolfpack, we're back here on Bitcoin today. We've broken out of the bear flag formation to the point in which the bear flag formation looks very sloppy and it's almost invalid because we've had two breakouts now. This is a fake out over here and this is a breakout over here. Now, the thing is, and the reason why it's kind of confusing is because we haven't actually broken the critical resistance we need to break yet. You guys know this quite well. I've made it very, very clear. Whether you guys want to listen or not, the fact of the matter is there is objectively a strong resistance zone at 23.8k. And actually, if we're including the wicks, it's sitting between 23.8k and 24.2k. That is the resistance area, but on the candle close, it's 23.8k. You can see this lower red line here, which I'm going to make, let's make it a dotted line just so you guys can see it very clearly. Let's make it 3px. And if we're scrolling across, you can see we've actually closed the candle right on top of that line, right? So we haven't broken out yet, even on the daily candle. And this is, of course, a daily candle resistance zone. And so if you're bullish here, I will say you're being bullish too early, right? We're at resistance, right? Would you get bearish at support? No, you wouldn't, right? So don't get bullish at resistance. Now, by all means, if we break to the upside here, we get above 23.8k, preferably a weekly candle close above it, which will be in 3 days, and then, you know, get a couple of dailies and all that, you know, then we're good. We're good to go. We're bullish. And in that case, we would be talking about taking trades up to the 28k region, which is the nearest resistance. And that would be great. And there's been no negative side to that. I would be so happy to admit we're bullish there if that did happen. You know, if we go to the weekly chart, we can analyze this a little bit further and say, well, you know, look at the 200-week SMA. That's down here at 22.7. 23.8k is that red line. Close the weekly above that in 3 days. We're taking a trade to 28.6k. And at that point, you'd be relatively confident that the bottom would be in. I don't want to make any of those bold predictions, though. What I will say is that you'd be bullish in the short term at least, because look, there's nothing between 23.8k and 28.6k, right? It's quite literally a blank space. If we go to the daily chart, look at the volume profile, you can see quite clearly that between 23.8k and 28.6k, there's no historical volume. So we should be able to zoom right up there, and then we can reanalyze at that point to see what's actually going on with Bitcoin, see whether the bottom is actually in. But by all means, you'd definitely be considering the fact the bottom would be in, and you'd 100% be short-term bullish if we broke above that region. But, you know, it hasn't happened yet, and we need to be seeing a weekly above it. And why do I say a weekly? Why a weekly candle? Why not just a daily candle? Well, daily candles are notoriously, prevalent for fake outs. And also, if you look at the 200-week SMA, what you can see is that we have closed below it before and not continued in that trend direction. We did it in 2020 and we did it in 2015. So there is a substantial argument to be made that we could close above it, which is anywhere between 22.7k and 23.8k, and not see a substantial trend in that direction and just reverse quite easily, right? So yeah, we need to close above the 200, and we also need to close above the nearest resistance above the 200, which is of course 23.8k. And it's just 3 days until that happens. So if you can't wait 3 days, I don't know what to tell you. Now, realistically, if you're super convinced that the bottom's in here, and you're super convinced and you think, oh, you know, we're just going to go up from here, you could buy in now. And then if we close a weekly candle below 23.8k, you could sell. But I don't see why you would do that. Just wait. Just wait. You know, and you know, worst case scenario, we break upwards here, we get to like 25.5k by tomorrow, and we're clearly breaking to the upside. Cool, we'll buy then. At this point, we're right on top of resistance. There is no reason at all to be buying here. In fact, this is a region in which you should be interested in shorting. If you go to the hourly chart, for example, you can see that, let's remove that volume profile. You can see that we're overbought on the Bollinger Bands. We're at resistance, at a strong resistance zone where we had this top before. We're at risk of forming a double top formation in which we have this M pattern forming like that, right? We're at serious risk of that happening. And on top of that, we're seeing bearish divergence in the RSI, and we're oversold and dropping on the stochastic RSI, in which we saw a negative divergence, right? So I'm simply not understanding why people are getting bullish at resistance. It just doesn't make sense, and it happens every time. And every time it happens, I get a bunch of comments saying I'm wrong. And, you know, cool, if I'm wrong, awesome. We'll know in 3 days, right? So it's not something we need to rush and jump the gun for. You know, I think I made this point so clearly, but I just want to update you guys again, because obviously it's a high pressure situation, lots of volatility. We had the second quarter of negative GDP growth in the United States of America. United States of America is officially now in a recession, right? Which is why it's so interesting. It's like, okay, United States is officially in a recession, confirmed, right? They won't say it is, but that's how they usually measured it. And on that news, we saw the S&P 500 pumping. You know, so, you know, the only logical explanation to this is that it's a bull trap. I mean, that's the logical explanation. You know, DXY is dropping, obviously, because the SPX is going up, right? If the XPX goes up, S&P 500 goes up, DXY drops, right? So it's not because, the macro situation's looking better. It's quite literally because there's some sort of bull trap going on. I don't know. Look, I'm not an economist, but what I can say is that it's not completely normal. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't look right to me. And if we do end up breaking above 23.8k, we close the weekly candle above it, cool. Maybe I have to reconsider, and maybe I was wrong, and maybe the macro situation isn't as bad as I thought it was. It would be weird if that happened. But if it did happen, I can't deny the TA. Look, I'm not going to sit here at 26k and be like, oh guys, it's a bull trap. But I can very well sit here at major resistance just above the 200-week SMA and say that. So look, I'm being very cautious. If we look at Ethereum, for example, and this is the good signs of it, right? Ethereum's broken upwards, clearly. Resistance support flip. It's actually broken above its resistance, and it's sitting on support right now. Now it's seeing a bullish resistance support flip. So Ethereum's led the way throughout this entire pump, and Ethereum's broken to the upside. So there's definitely positive signs. It's not like it's all negative by any means. I mean, if it was all negative, we wouldn't be breaking out of a bear flag formation. And I'm certainly not saying that it's impossible that we can break upwards here. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be Just why? Why would you not wait? Well, are you going to miss out? Are you going to miss out on a few percent on Bitcoin? Who cares? Trade altcoins. I get a lot of people on the channel saying, "Oh, well, you've missed this whole pump." It's like I have not missed a second of this pump. I trade altcoins on a daily basis. Buying the Bitcoin macro bottom is not really a priority of mine. I trade altcoins, and I'll buy the trend reversal, which is what I've said from day one, by the way. So it's not a big deal. If you think it's a big deal, I highly recommend you learn how to trade instead of relying on these macro investments, because finding the bottom exactly and finding the top exactly is a very, very hard game to play, and you're much better off relying on those reversal points. So let's see what happens with 23.8k. We've got 3 days until it closes. And, if we come back here tomorrow, and we come back to the chart tomorrow by some stroke of the imagination, which is possible, by the way. I mean, we've literally broken a bear flag to the upside, so TA's out the window at this point. But if by some stroke of luck, we end up at 25k tomorrow and something's going really well, you can see it's very, very strong. S&P 500 continues pumping, all this. Yeah, look, we can consider buying in. But at this point, it's just simply too early. So let's wait and see what happens. Double top formation looks likely at this point. And I'll catch you in the next video. But before we end the video there, I want to take a look at Wolves Crypto VIP. Click the join button on the YouTube channel. You get access to all these perks. Altcoin trading setups, which we take altcoin trades every single day. Prioritized reply to comments, a 2-hour lecture on market psychology, and exclusive Telegram group access. Go to BitGet. This is the exchange I use personally. Click my referral link in the pinned comment or the description below. Click sign up. Takes 5 minutes. You'll get access to an exchange that has half the fees of Binance. No KYC, which is good for tax reasons and good for avoiding government regulation, which is the whole point of cryptocurrency, by the way. It's one of the only exchanges that allows you to use the intended purpose of cryptocurrency, which is decentralized, which, it's ridiculous that no exchanges do that other than this exchange, but whatever, all right? And then a referral program, which you can gain access to 4,000 USD in rewards. So again, click my referral link and sign up there. It takes 5 minutes. And then, of course, Become a Trader course. If you want to learn Objective TA, this is the course, right? Become a Trader, 10-unit course, teaches you everything you need to know, or most of the things you need to know about TA. What is Bitcoin? What is crypto? What is fiat? What is this formation? What does it do? What's this indicator? Etc. We've got 10 units. We've got 10 slideshow presentations, about 85 videos, and about 450 slides of information there, and a trading diary. And you can chuck us an email here at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com if you're interested in finding out more about that. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. All eyes on 23.8k. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.